Okay, what does that sound?
It's Paul trying to sound like a bird.
What does that sound?
It's a bad whistle.
When was the last time you went to Disneyland?
I can't remember that.
That is the sound when you walk through the turnstile.
Okay. How about the sound of you pouring some wine so that before they turn it off?
Hey, welcome to the July 2012 limited series, and I'm here with what's his name from Sicily.
I'm only half Sicilian, the other half is Italian. Don't mess with me.
Which part? Like here?
Here's, yeah.
Actually, don't mess with me. Hey,
Gee, where does this come from?
Speaking of Sicily, here's
Yeah.
the Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand.
Marlborough in New Zealand.
Yeah, right. Oh, wow. This is now I remember the wine.
Ooh,
I
man,
chose
is
this
that
wine
good.
because it wasn't that over-the-top grassy Sauvignon
No,
Blanc
it's not.
grapefruit. It's got a lot more balance than the other ones I've had.
That's beautiful, actually.
This is a 2011.
But it is Marlborough, which is a little cooler than Martinborough. It's on the southern island, which is best known for Sauvignon Blanc, and they've done a great job with this wine.
The balance is great because it's not overly done anywhere. Like you're
Right.
saying.
No, it's beautifully balanced. At $12.99 for the reorder, $21.99 on the shelf. This is killer. Wow, it sure smells like Sauvignon Blanc. It doesn't actually smell a lot like New Zealand.
I'm getting some herb in there, like a mint or like a not dill.
Dill,
but
yeah,
something.
it's all in there, and there's no wood. Dill doesn't come from the wood; it comes from the grape and where it's grown. But I mean, it still says pretty much New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, but it's not as aggressive as like most.
No.
I'm doing a 95 on this.
I'm going to go 95, 96, just to confuse the editor of the video. Ooh, nice splash job.
No, that was actually
Wait, an astronaut?
that was a splashdown. Okay, now here's a wine.
Peralta
that I had a
Family Vineyard.
I had a hand in making, or two.
You did. I can taste it. I can smell it.
This is a very, what this taught me was there's.
Apparently, you didn't wash your hands.
That's why it's so good. The thing about this area is that you don't think of Napa Valley as good Pinot Noir country because it's so hot, but except for down in Carneros. Well, Carneros, quite frankly, is really not that good of an area for growing grapes because it used to grow asparagus and artichokes. It's very fertile. You want rocky soil, but they get this nice cool climate. Well, just east of there is better soil with the same climate, and it's better wine.
So Carneros connects the bottom of Sonoma and Napa. Mm-hmm. It is known for Pinot Noir and Chardonnay and sparkling wines, no?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, some of the best Pinots are coming out of there, but still, a lot of them aren't as good as they think they are.
This is really...
The spice component in this is out
There's
of
a
this
ton of
world.
wine in here.
Yeah.
This is a huge mouthful of wine. And so it's not that feminine, light-hearted Pinot Noir you might get from Santa Barbara. It's this full, serious Pinot Noir going on.
Well, I wouldn't go quite that far. I mean, it's still Pinot Noir, and it still has this beautiful spice. I mean, the 08 that we did last month from the same vineyard has that same kind of spice component. It's just amazing. This wine actually in the barrel had more guts than the 08 and more extract, but it's going to take a little long to come around.
I can see that because there's enough to age.
$14.99 for a Pinot Noir out of this world. $23.99.
It just doesn't happen.
No, $23.99 at a regular price is still cheap.
That's cheap.
Well,
Now,
vineyard.
Where have you placed this? Anywhere else? Restaurants?
Bristol Farms.
Bristol Farms, a high-end market.
Yeah, and restaurants. Yeah, restaurants.
I'd be very happy if I went into a restaurant, they charged me $12 a glass for this. I'd be very happy.
Absolutely. You're not going to. Well, that's what they're charging for.
Well, I'll take that back. I'm not so happy.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a 96 on this myself.
I'll go 95, just because you had something to do with it.
Okay, just because I had something to do with it.
Yeah. So I took it down a notch.
I know. Well, yeah, you just took this whole podcast down a notch. But we'll let it go.
That's hard to do.
Yeah. Considering where we start from. Oh, this is one of my favorite
I love
grapes.
this.
I love Orvieto.
When I first started at the Wine Month Club in 1988, my dad said, I want you to go find an Orvieto. I'm like, what the hell is Orvieto? I didn't know what it was. So that was one of my first tasks, was to find an Orvieto in the club.
Man. And he called me, he said, what's an Orvieto?
Exactly.
Oh, man. These wines are so good. I don't like the fact that the reorder price is now $12.99. We used to sell these for $6.99.
But it's a Classico too, though.
Well, okay, they're going to be a little bit more money, but because of the fact that the dollar is still not as strong as it should be against the euro, this is a $12.99 wine. But oh my God, is it good!
You know, Bijou being a pretty big house, I was really actually, when I tasted the wine, I thought, it's a big house, you know, it's going to be one of those thin, insipid things, and that's the furthest from the truth.
No.
This is a full-bodied white wine.
Well,
Look at the color.
It's full-bodied for Orvieto. I mean, Orvieto is still a light wine. You're not going to get Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc character out of it, but you get all this beautiful, elusive fruit. You know, it's kind of like the Macabeo that we had earlier in the regular series.
Good.
You know, it's just fabulous. And as Orvietos go, this is one of the best. I'm doing a 94.
I'm just hoping the bottle shape fits in my packaging thing. It's like a skirt. Unless they just got his hand blown, the guy just screwed up.
I don't think they hand blow these things anymore. I'm doing a 94 on this.
I'm going 95. I like it, and because it's reminiscent for me. Conjures up images of the old days.
And we do want to reminisce.
In Lomita, in the King Harbor packing house for the Wine and Wine Club. Paul Campbell, senior at the helm. This is...
Oh, Gerard
Bertrand.
Saint-Chinian.
Now, he was in, and we tasted this wine a couple years ago, actually.
With him? With Gerard? Oh, he sounds like a really interesting character.
He's a very nice guy.
I'd like to meet him.
Very pleasant. I'm going to post up the video that we had with him the last time he was here. But they've been bringing this wine forever, and they just wouldn't come down the price. And now they got to where we could feature in the limited series, which is $22.99 on the shelf, and you get more for $14.99. But this is, I mean, Saint-Chinian, you know, years and years and years ago was, you know, it's pretty good wine. But this is, I love this wine.
This is in southern France, and near in the Provence and the Midi and places like that, where they were the baskets of wine. I mean, they just planted everything they wanted to, and you know, and they didn't care about how quality. They just wanted to make a lot of volume. Well, as worldwide consumption decreased, especially in France and Italy, they couldn't sell as much wine as they used to, and so they had two choices: they either stop producing or they make less and make it better. And obviously, it was a second choice that they took.
One of my favorite red grapes, Mourvedre.
Me too.
Absolutely. You don't see it much. Blended with the Syrah. You do have that smoky or gamey component here, but it's not, and the Mourvedre kind of cuts through that a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And this has tons of life in it as well.
Oh, this wine's going to last a long time.
I love it.
And this guy's making some great wine. I mean, he's really turning that area around. I've always been a fan of Saint-Chinian, but I think his wines have been a cut above the stuff that I really liked before. This is a 95 for me.
I'll go 95 too. In fact, the only sparkling wines I offered this Christmas were his sparkling wines, both the Volonté de Limoges. This is so good. Can we end this video now so I can just drink this?
Yes. Good night, and ladies and gentlemen, and sleep well. That's it for the limited series of July 2012. We'll be back in August when it's probably going to be 112 degrees outside, but not here.